how do we turn a vision into a goal? How do we turn a goal into a routine? How do we turn a routine into a habit? And how do we turn a habit into discipline? This time period is what we're going to focus on today. Joe Rogan, David Goggins, Jocko, what do these three have in common, along with thousands of other celebrities and celebrity athletes on the internet? They tell you that you need to develop discipline and not motivation. That motivation is temporary and it's not going to get you where you want to be to reach your goals. My name's Greg Connolly. I'm the CEO of Trifecta, and at Trifecta we've sold over $500 million worth of food, fed hundreds of thousands of Americans, and over time I've gotten a chance to work with thousands of celebrities, celebrity athletes, and CEOs that have given me a front row seat into what it takes to not only develop discipline in myself, but what so many of these high achievers have done to develop discipline in their own lives, starting out with mere motivation and building it into habits over time. Developing discipline takes a series of steps. You have goals in your life, and if you're like most people, you've had a lot of difficulty hitting them. Maybe you want to become wealthy, financially independent. Maybe you want to get into phenomenal shape, have incredible health, meet your future spouse, or have an amazing marriage, raise kids, leave a legacy. All of these things are important things in your life that require you having a vision of how to achieve them and then developing the habits and motivation and discipline to get you there. Let's dig into the 4 steps required to develop discipline. Step 1 is developing a vision. Step 2 is turning that vision into a habit and a routine. Step 3 is identifying obstacles that could derail you. And step 4 is turning that habit routine into discipline that will last you a lifetime. So that's really the big question, is how do we turn a vision into a goal? How do we turn a goal into a routine? How do we turn a routine into a habit? And how do we turn a habit into discipline? This time period is what we're going to focus on today, with an emphasis on visualizing your future self so you can develop a vision in any specific area of your life. There's a lot of incredible things that people have visions for, and ultimately they have to put in the work to be able to achieve them by developing these habits and disciplines over time. Step 1, write down your goals so you can very clearly visualize them. You hear that CEOs are responsible for setting the vision for an organization. Where is the company and where are we going? Well, you're the CEO of your own life. Nobody is going to develop that vision for you. Nobody's coming. You have to develop that vision for yourself. And we're going to help you go through that process today, step by step. As part of step 1, identifying your motivations and then writing down your goals is going to be the first step towards achieving that vision. And it's going to be the fastest way to move from being temporarily motivated to building a psychological system that will help you become disciplined. You don't have to revisit these goals 10 times a day or even daily. But making sure you've clearly thought them through and written them down, that's really what the point of writing them down is to make sure you really think them through, is what's going to help you crystallize what that vision is so you can see it in your own mind when you're having a difficult moment, not ordering the burger and fries at the restaurant, or maybe spending money you shouldn't on a new pair of jeans or that Starbucks. Step 2. Once you've got your goals written down, you want to start making slow progress towards them. Now, unfortunately, Hollywood has not helped us in this area. We've all seen movies that have the montage scene of the movie where the hero goes through 3 or 4 minutes worth of training in the movie and becomes absolutely incredible at what they do. In Rocky, he's carrying logs up a mountain, he's sprinting in front of a bunch of people at the town hall, and suddenly, before you know it, Rocky's fighting in a championship, and that whole training process only took a few minutes. In Star Wars, you see Luke Skywalker land and start hanging out with Yoda. He's doing a few front flips, waving the lightsaber around, gets a few life lessons from Yoda, and next thing you know, he's a Jedi Knight going to fight Darth Vader. Unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. There's a huge amount of work that goes into developing discipline in these key areas of your life, but once you've developed it, you ultimately end up living the life that you wanted anyway, because these disciplines are now part of your lifestyle. Having led an organization with hundreds of employees and hundreds of thousands of customers, I've spent decades reading and learning and studying how to develop a vision, not only for an organization, but for myself individually. I took the key areas of my life: financial independence, family, my relationship with my wife, fitness, being a father, leaving a legacy behind, and having an impact on my community, the areas that I wanted to focus. And I really zoomed in on examples of people that I wanted to become like in those particular areas. My vision for my entrepreneurial self was led by Elon Musk. He was an immigrant from South Africa who came to America and had an incredible vision for himself, that he wanted to amass a lot of resources, in his case money, that he could use to try and solve some of the major problems humankind is facing. That is a massive vision, and it's led to him becoming the wealthiest person on earth and having a crazy amount of impact on what goes on in all of our lives, from Starlink in the Ukraine to launching rockets with SpaceX and creating a town square for everybody to openly communicate with Twitter that he's now rebranded as X. What an incredible example of setting a vision for your life and then self-actualizing it through hard work. Now, if I zoom in on Elon and try and become the best entrepreneur possible myself, I can take a lot of big takeaways from him. He has incredible work ethic. He's continuously working on improving himself, reading more, working oftentimes 12, 14-hour days, and having a true vision for his life that leads him to an incredible amount of success. There may be other areas that I don't agree with Elon. I certainly don't want to have 11 kids. He's got multiple relationships that he's been in. I want to stay with my wife forever. He's got all kinds of different elements of his life that I don't want for my life, but I can still take those components from Elon's life and absorb them in that particular area of my life. The same goes for fitness. You know, maybe I want to become in incredible great shape. I'm going to look at fitness influencers and celebrity athletes like Jay Cutler, one of the top athletes on our team who was 4-time Mr. Olympia. He developed one of the most incredible physiques known in the world. And I've learned a tremendous amount about him, about what it takes for him to develop a physique and health at that level. What he's eating with his diet, what he's training like in the gym, any additional supplements he's taking, what he's doing from a mindset and discipline standpoint to help him achieve that level of fitness. There are phenomenal examples in any particular area of your life that you're looking to focus on, and I just gave a few from my personal experience to help you guys get started with step 2, which is setting that vision for your life and then developing the habits to become that person. The next step, step 3, is identifying obstacles that are going to get in your way. Now, for a lot of people, since Trifecta is a nutrition company, we talk about food quite a bit. Obstacles for your nutrition are going to be things like hanging around with people that derail your food. Is one of your buddies constantly ordering DoorDash or going to In-N-Out to get burgers and fries? Potentially. Do you have a spouse or a significant other who's not eating healthy on a regular basis? Are your kids eating an unhealthy diet, and because of that you're eating chicken nuggets and mac and cheese all the time, picking off of their plates? Do you have unhealthy foods in your house that are causing you to eat an unhealthy diet on a regular basis? All of these things are obstacles that you need to identify in order to be able to move past them. Otherwise, you're going to continuously get tripped up by them until you lose motivation. And if you haven't developed discipline by then, you're not going to develop it, and you'll continue to recycle on that habit again and again. Step 4 is developing discipline. Now, to go from setting a vision, building a habit and a routine, identifying obstacles, and finally building discipline is a huge process, but it can be done relatively quickly. Oftentimes it's quoted that it takes about 3 weeks to build a habit, and what actually is happening in those 3 weeks is you're changing your expectations about what's going to happen in your life. Oftentimes people have said expectations are everything to humans, and I think that's absolutely true. For me, one of the biggest habits for me to change was for me to work out every morning as opposed to working out at night. There were a few reasons for that. One, oftentimes I like to go to happy hours or hang out with friends, or I'm exhausted after a 12-hour day of work. If I'm depending on actually going to the gym after my workday, my odds of getting it done are significantly lower. If I expect to do it first thing in the morning because I've changed my expectations around when I'm going to work out, every single day for decades now, I wake up, make myself a cup of coffee, brush my teeth, put on my gym clothes, and work out. Every single day, I've built that expectation into my mind that what I do is work out first thing in the morning. So the 21-day rule for habits is absolutely true, but you're better off recognizing what is actually happening in those 21 days. What's actually happening is you're changing your own expectation in your mind that you now do something a certain way. You work out in the morning. You don't eat cereal for breakfast. You eat egg whites and chicken apple sausage. You spend time with your spouse at the end of the day instead of turning on the TV. All of these things in different areas of your life become the expectation that you have, and therefore they become the new normal. That's how you begin to move from developing a habit, which is amazing and can actually lead to incredible results, to developing discipline. Now, the other component of discipline is understanding your feelings. Understanding that there are going to be times when you wake up in the morning and you don't want to work out. That's going to happen more often than not. And what that actually means is you're going to have to push through on those days with discipline to actually achieve what you've set out for as your habit, which will lead to the vision you have for yourself. For me personally, I wanted to be the type of person that worked out every single day because I never wanted to get out of shape for the entire rest of my life. And I knew in order to achieve that, I was going to have the discipline to work out every single morning. So there are a lot of mornings where maybe I had an amazing happy hour the night before, or I went to an incredible party, who knows, or I just worked late until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning. But I still know that every single morning I'm gonna wake up, and whether I'm exhausted or not, whether my bed's warm or not, whether I have 1,000 excuses or not, I'm gonna get out of bed and actually execute my plan because that's the expectation I have in my head. That makes me feel like I've achieved discipline, and in that particular area of my life, I now work out every single day, 7 days a week, continuously for decades at a time. Thank you guys for watching today. If you want more videos like this on how to become the best version of yourself, click subscribe below and turn notifications for the Trifecta channel on. And you can check out our next video up to the left.